Hey guys, PetZergling and Daz here with Game 5. I didn't think I'd be saying this, but Game 5 between NaDa and JangBi.
Yeah, I'm
just excellent play from both players. We've seen a pretty long macro game as well as 3 extremely quick games. Action-packed nonetheless, and going into Byzantium 2 again. NaDa just showed how well he was prepared for this map, and I really think JangBi is going to have to rethink some of his strategies, and I wouldn't be surprised to see JangBi go for some sort of early Reaver again, seeing he's gone Reaver 4 times so far this game. I was guessing he was going to go Reaver in that 4th game, but I can't imagine him doing the same thing he did in the first game. I don't think 10-15 gate range is good here, just because of how NaDa's shown how well that he can defend it. And at the same time, I don't think an early Nexus is really good against NaDa. So I expect some 1 gate range into expand, maybe Reaver, but I don't think JangBi's really going to deviate, and I think that's going to favor NaDa in the early game. And I'm just going to sync this up real quick in 2, 1, 0. So what do you think? I mean, obviously being Game 5, both of these players are probably going to do something extremely safe, something they're extremely comfortable with. What do you think we're going to see from JangBi here in this game?
You know, I wouldn't be too surprised to see a 10-15 gate, because it was a really close call last game, and had it not been cross positions, NaDa might have been much harder pressed in that game. So I think building the second tank first, he still would have been okay, but I think JangBi definitely could have delayed the expansion a little more, or maybe even picked off a tank and done some damage, had it not been for the fact that it was cross positioning, because that just increases the distance that the Dragoons have to travel so much more, I mean, as compared to the positions they are right now. So I wouldn't be surprised to see a 10-15 gate again. I would be surprised to see a 12 next. I don't think JangBi should do that. I don't think he will do that, especially against NaDa. Like you said, like NaDa's shown that he's not the kind of Terran you can just 12 next against, and he's just gonna sit there and take it. He's gonna do something. He's gonna try to kill you, or at least do some damage. He's gonna make you pay for that 12 next, and I think Tempest learned that lesson the hard way, and I think some other Protosses have as well. So I'm kind of expecting to see a pretty standard game from both of them, at least to open up. Or maybe some of them's doing something. The commentators are getting pretty excited right now. The Koreans, I don't know what the hell they're using. But,
I just want to throw in there on the note of early Nexus, though, just something that I found is normally when I played against early Nexus, I guess I just kind of like to throw out notes for maybe players trying to pick up knowledge, because that's what I always do a lot. And 11 racks, 11 gas there from NaDa. And a lot of the things that I like to do is I like to watch games for tips, and one of the things that NaDa did against Tempest is he went for that kind of strange expo break where he sent 3 Marines, 3 SCVs, and he rallied Vultures. And normally I either pull a lot of SCVs or I don't pull any, but that 3 SCV amount was just perfect. And I've been using that on ahkbar, and mostly against 12 Nexusing Protoss, and that is just so deadly. If you guys ever have problems against 12 Nex, I would totally recommend checking out that VOD, NaDa versus Tempest on Byzantium 2. I believe it was in the round of 16 maybe, but anyway, that was just an excellent build, and that is probably one of the strongest counters to 12 Nex I've seen. And knowing that NaDa can pull it off so well, just like you said, I don't think JangBi is going to go for any sort of early Nexus. Once again, Protoss faggotry, Probe going right to NaDa's base, and NaDa scouting the wrong way. And that's just tough for NaDa, because NaDa's going to be hard pressed here. Maybe JangBi is going for an early Nexus. He may be worried, he may think he might need to be more aggressive than he needs to be, or he doesn't know right away if JangBi's going to go for a 10-15 gate. But either way, JangBi's going to force NaDa to pull that SCV. And I think he may cross scout. I'm not sure how well. Knowing how well he's practiced on this map, I have to imagine he's going to know the timings pretty well. Is that a Zealot coming up for JangBi? He's gone Zealot first into Reaver every single game so far in this series, I think.
Yeah, yeah, I'd say that just about sums it up. I'm surprised, except for the first game where he did 10-15 gate. I'm surprised at how predictable he's going to be. But you know what? He's not 10-15 gating, but this is a really aggressive build. He's done this kind of build where he's cutting probes to get the Zealot as well as Dragoon range and a Dragoon really quickly. You can tell, I mean, normally a Protoss would not have the money to get... I mean, his Dragoon is out at a normal timing, pretty much, and so is his range. His range might only be slightly delayed, and in order to do that, you have to cut probes. So he is banking on doing some damage or doing some pressure at least to NaDa in the early game. So I mean, I think that's a good move. I mean, you don't necessarily have to 10-15 gate to be aggressive and take advantage of this map. as we can see right now, I mean, NaDa has to retreat into his base with the Marines. He cannot even hold his ramp at this point, and that's because of that Zealot. Because of the early Zealot, I mean, the Marines cannot fight head-on against the Dragoon and a Zealot. Well, it looks like he's got enough Marines now. He's worked up some guts, and he's going to attack. I don't think this is a good idea. He might just end up getting another Marine picked off. Once a tank gets out,
Marines are pretty strong.
Yeah, I'm surprised he actually only lost one. But once he gets a tank out, he's going to be fine either way, because it's only off of one gate so far. JangBi's put down a second gateway, but it's not going to be pumping units early enough to be a major threat to NaDa. And NaDa's probably going to be able to get a bunker off and expand just fine here. I don't think he's going to be in too much trouble. Although, interestingly enough, I think that was a second gateway and not a Ro8 going down from JangBi. So JangBi is going to be a little bit behind. Gateway. Yeah. Oh wow, he's going for the time. Wow, the timing actually worked out really well there. If he gets that, okay, he's not going to get the tank, but still putting a lot of pressure on NaDa. And you know what? He would have been better off going fucking for a Robo at this point, because if he could clear out those mines, he would pretty much be destroying NaDa right now. He might be able to dodge them or micro his way around. I mean, he picked off one of the 3 mines. So, I mean, he's only got to deal with 2 mines so far. Okay, the next Vulture is out and planning more mines, and that pretty much shuts down any possibility of out-microing them. Oh, did that go off? Oh, wow, it went off. That sucks for JangBi. So that pretty much shuts down any possible aggression that he can do. His Dragoons are really damaged now, and there's tons of mines going down.
He's going to lose the barracks.
He is going to lose the barracks, but...
Wow.
Oh my god.
Wow.
Oh, and the barracks is down. That kind of sucks for NaDa.
That was kind of strange. I want to see NaDa's base. Does he have a second factory yet?
I think he does. There's a lot of red there. I can't tell, but that's a lot of fucking red right there.
Holy crap.
Oh, wow,
that was brave from JangBi there. And he took on the SCV on the barrack. Seeing that NaDa rebuilt that barrack so fast, I almost have to think that he didn't put down his second factory.
Wow.
Normally he wouldn't just immediately... Oh, wow. He's taking... Oh!
He's within...
Wow.
Oh my god.
I don't think he took damage there.
No, he didn't. He did not take damage. That was really ballsy by JangBi. I mean, he was within smelling distance of that spider mine. I mean, that was so close. And what a ballsy move. I mean, I would never have had the guts to move up 4 Dragoons like that. I mean, if you'd moved up just a millimeter too far, that mine would have hit at least 3 of those 4 Dragoons, and it would have been almost game over at that point. So, I mean, pretty cool move by JangBi. I think he did the damage that he needed to count for the fact that he got a later Nexus. So I think JangBi's okay in this game. Looks like he's gonna go for a 3rd really quickly, and if NaDa scouts this, he might be in trouble. Or maybe not, because his
keep in mind,
who knows?
Because he's only got 1 factory. I think this is a really good move from JangBi, putting down that 3rd base right after his 2nd comes up, just because he knows that NaDa can't be real aggressive here, and not necessarily that that's a bad thing. It's just that JangBi knows NaDa's playstyle. It's almost like an imbalanced map where a player has to go for a certain playstyle. NaDa has to play a 3-base game here. He doesn't have the option of going for 2 base. So we saw NaDa had a real strong 3 or 4 base TVP. So not necessarily that's a bad thing, but JangBi's going to be feeling a lot safer here, putting up that expansion, and NaDa playing pretty safe here, building some supply depots, landing his barracks, lots of mines in front of his base. He really doesn't want to take any damage from any sort of early Dragoon pressure, and I think this is a good move, but he should really be looking forward to the late game. I don't think JangBi would really try some sort of attack here, even though he is getting a Reaver. So all 5 game this series going for Reaver, and actually 3rd next after the Reaver. And Reaver is really a good move here from the Protoss player, especially a real good one, just because a Reaver isn't necessarily luck-based or hit or miss. It's just up to your control and up to how well you can use it. And when you have such great multitasking control macro as JangBi, it's really almost always a good idea to go for Reaver, and he really shows us that. And now finally NaDa able to put up some more factories, putting up that same perimeter turrets. And I have a feeling this is going to be very similar to the Reaver in Game 1. I don't think it's going to do very much, but I think he's going to be able to use it a little bit defensively and at least hold NaDa back from taking his 3rd for a little while.
Yeah, you know, I was going to, as you're saying, it's always a good idea to go Reaver, except for maybe on this map, because he's completely shut down from doing any damage. I mean, normally most maps, Terrans can build perimeter turrets, but there's always going to be a hole. There's always going to be somewhere where you can land your Reaver and attack a turret, and if you take down 1 turret, then all of a sudden you have some room to work with. Except here, the base perimeter is just so small, he can cover it completely with only